New Zealand Dairy Farmer is proudly brought to you by Hanson Products, providing Kiwi farmers with water system solutions for over 50 years. Welcome to New Zealand Dairy Farmer. This week we're in the South Island, visiting Robindale Dairies. Robindale is managed by Michael and Susie Woodward and is the largest farm in the Synlait Farms stable, milking around 2,000 cows a day. Later in the show we'll catch up with Synlait Farms CEO Juliet MacLean and talk about ways that the company is changing attitudes around the business of farming. First though, we spent some time with Michael to find out more about Robindale.
How long have you been here at Robindale Farms, Mike?
I started back here in 2003. I came on as a farm assistant when the farm was putting through 3,000 cows through the 80 bale.
Right, okay, and you've seen a lot of development since then in terms of growth of herd numbers and development of the farm.
Oh, for sure. We've worked hard to, I suppose, take it back towards the animal and get a lot more out of each individual cow, start treating them like a cow in a 200 cow herd in the Waikato would be treated, to make sure we're trying to take away the stereotype of large herds means large amounts of waste. We're just trying to cut that out.
What particular challenges are there when you're milking over 2,000 cows, trying to get a system that's like a 200 cow farm?
I suppose staff is always going to be a major challenge, ensuring that all of the staff understand the expectations of, I suppose, not only myself but the company that we work for, Synlait, yeah. And ensuring that they understand exactly what's required of them all on a daily basis.
How many staff do you have here at Robindale?
So we get up to 14 staff through the spring, with myself and my wife excluded from that amount, and then we drop down to about 11 for the rest of the season.
And do you have a reasonably high turnover of staff, or do you aim to keep good staff over a long period of time?
We try to keep our quality staff for as long as we can. So for next season, out of the 11 full-time staff, we're retaining 7 of those. And it's our senior guys, our 2 ICs that are moving on to management roles, which is what we like.
And what sort of roster system do you run in terms of days off and weekends and so forth? So
we have to treat the farm pretty much like it's a 7-day-a-week operation. If we have it, we take into account wet weather days. We try not to do too much on those days, but do a lot of work on the days when it is fine. And the guys run a 6-2 roster, so that's right throughout the year, spring included. Our manager, he'll run a 7-1 roster, and that's just to ensure that the consistency is always there. But that day that he's away, I'm on farm to make sure that nothing drops in terms of performance around the farm. How long per day is the shed actually running? So the shed runs from 4 till 10 in the morning, and then from 1 till 6 at night. So not quite all day, yeah.
And there's some maintenance time outside of that on particular days of the week?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the main reasons why the numbers have reduced from the 3,000 back to the 2,000 now. We were running out of time in the shed, so a third of the farm has essentially been cut off, and now it just means that we can give the shed the attention it requires as well as the cows. And what improvements have you seen from that philosophy? We had a major issue 2 years ago, the earthquake. When it hit us, it did a lot of damage within the shed, and so I suppose a lot of those years of short maintenance times caught up with us, and all of a sudden, combined with the earthquake effects, we had to do a lot of repairs and maintenance. And now the shed, I haven't even had to touch it this year. We've been able to give it a full workover. It's like a brand new shed again. And I suppose I can't ask for anything better out of an 80 bale doing 2,000 cows. Yeah.
How long was the shed actually out of commission after the earthquake?
We were lucky we didn't have any cows on the platform right when it hit, and it wasn't until 6 o'clock when we decided, when everybody was safe and accounted for, we decided to run it, and then we realised we actually had a huge issue underneath. It had shaken the platform right through and ovalled the I-beam a little bit. The downtime for us was probably, we managed to get all cows through in that day through the use of a generator that we do have as a contingency on farm, but we had ongoing issues every day from then on with platform stalling and things like that.
So you just had to shut it down completely and get that work done on it?
Yeah, that's right. It was, and we had some great engineers that came in and worked throughout the night to try and get that done well. Because during the day, through that spring period, through September there, we're running almost the whole herd through the shed, may not be on the rotary table but through the yards, so we need that area free for drafting cows and the such, and so for those guys to come in through the night is a great help for us.
How far are some of the cows walking to get to the shed from the furthest reaches of the farm?
Furthest is no more than 2 kilometres, so it's basically about 900 metres on race, and then about another kilometre to the back of those paddocks sort of thing. So it's not a major one for a farm this size.
Have you had problems with lameness?
In the earlier days we did. We used to bring a lot of milk harvesters into the farm when we were doing the 3,000 cows through the shed, but the attention to detail just wasn't shown back then. By now, housing all the farm workers on farm, and the guys dealing with the cows every day, they have that level of accountability that wasn't quite there before, and so it means that attention to detail on the cows is a lot greater, and they have a lot more buy-in to what they're trying to achieve within the system.
So you're aiming to pick up any animal health issues very early on in the piece?
That's right. Yeah, for us it's all about prevention. We try and use the in-house Synlait vets as much as possible to provide lameness training and also lameness treatment for the guys, and then also that goes along to mastitis cows as well. So the guys are always, every day in the shed we strip out the left hand side one day and the right hand side the next, and by identifying those mastitis cows early, the treatments work a lot better, and our mastitis herd at the moment is 13 cows out of 2,000, so yeah, sitting pretty low.
Coming to pasture management, is there the same care and attention to detail going on there?
For sure. Again, working with Synlait, it starts in the spring, as well as cover pasture walks that we do. We also run a very intense, I suppose, spring rotation planner based on a Dairy NZ model. We have a person between all the Synlait farms that goes around and GPSes the areas that we've eaten each week, so we know exactly what has been eaten on those days. It allows it ties into our feed budget that we do use, which is very detailed as well, to make sure that we know exactly where we are and what potential shortfalls or surpluses may be coming up to us. Yeah.
So you're grazing down to pretty low residuals?
We try and base ourselves around that Lincoln University model, to sort of fit down to 1,500. We'll increase slightly in around to 1,600 when we're going for peak production out of the cows, but generally we won't go over 3 tonne. Anything above 3,000 cover through the summer period we'll generally take for silage.
You're looking at the use of quite a lot of new species, or sticking with the tried and true?
No, we probably tend to stick with the tried and true. It's more reliable for us. I suppose it's what we've based a lot of our systems around, and yeah, I suppose if it's working at the moment, why would we change it?
Coming up next on New Zealand Dairy Farmer is Synlait Farms CEO Juliet MacLean to talk about changing business practices within the dairying industry. See you after the break.